What is up, everybody? This is your host, Supersign, and I thought I'd just do a video on a future prediction. I don't normally do these. I haven't done any of these videos because I generally don't. Well, I mean, I think of the future, but not that much. I mean, well, no, it's tricky. I kind of do all the time, but like not like a thoughtful idea as to what it could be like in 50 years, kind of thing. But anyway, today I thought of it. No, yesterday, last night. So what it came from was the fact that it came from the fact that I was so I have so many ideas, right? And there's all these different apps I'd like to create, or websites I'd like to create, or all this different stuff I'd like to do, but I don't have programming skills. I've tried to learn a couple times, found it very hard, and stopped. And I thought, that's such a shame that there's all these ideas I have and I can't put them in place. Now, Zahard has been awesome, very helpful. Thank you, and shout out to Zahard for some of the awesome things you've been doing. I really do appreciate it. And so he's a programmer that's been helping me out and doing a few of the different ideas I've had. But I have so many ideas, and there's so many things I'd love to be like doing, but I can't, and it's really frustrating. And I thought, well, there's probably other people out there also that have all these ideas. Like, to become good at it, it's like a good solid. I just say like 2 years minimum of like full out, like doing these kind of programming kind of stuff. And that's just, then there's multiple languages of programming that you can learn it in: Python, Java, C++, or Sharp, or whatnot, Swift, and all these other ones. And I think it's such a shame because it's like, man, if imagine if everyone knew how to code. Imagine the amount of sites, the amount of apps, and not just sites and apps. That's just, again, something I'm thinking the small scale. Just everything in general. All sorts of different programming from different just applications in everyday life and all sorts of different stuff that it could be applied to. And so I thought, what if there was like an AI, like an Iron Man, like Jarvis, but like a Jarvis-like thing that could just program for you, so you just spoke it out and it would just do it. I reckon that would be amazing. And I reckon, give it 20, 50 years, that will be a thing. And so you could just say, okay, so today, Jarvis, it won't be called Jarvis, but, I'll just use Jarvis as the reference, and I just think it will be incredible, because as soon as this technology comes about, and then I'll explain the different uses I think it will have, then it will just drop the entry bar of, being able to do all these cool things, these programs and that, to zero. And so no longer will, like me, with all my ideas that I can't do, because it takes a lot of time to, program. Like, well, first of all, just to learn it, you need a certain amount of, like capacity up here to be able to learn it, and then you need to be able to spend, and then you have to spend all that time to learn it, and then you have to spend time for every project and all that kind of stuff, But imagine, imagine if you didn't have to, like, have to have a really high capacity up here to learn it, B, be able to, like, instantaneously, like, not need to learn it. It was just, boom. It was just so ultra intuitive. You didn't even have to, like, really type stuff. You could just talk it out, and I'm not talking out, like, okay, do HTTPS / dot, not that kind of, like, as in, okay, change the URL to, anyway, so just imagine that, because, and so if the entry bar dropped to zero and everyone had this technology, it'd just be insane. Just imagine the amount of websites. There'd be like thousands, millions, there'd be billions of all these different sites and applications that will pop up, as everyone could just, the limit wouldn't be, there wouldn't be this massive bottleneck to, this massive progress, thing of like, needing to know to program. It would just be the imagination, the ideas is the limit, and it's a way better limit to have than just who can program kind of thing. And, because, there's not a massive, percentage of the world, less than 10%, I think it's less than 5% that can program fluently, so a very, very valuable resource. Programmers, very, very, necessary, for most technological gains, there's multiple people involved, and programmers are heavily involved in making, all these sorts of technologies, AI and programs and websites and everything, but imagine if everyone could, in effect, be a programmer. And so I thought, I just thought that'd be, so, and then this is my theory of what would happen. Everyone would create all these different sites, so they make sites that are personalized to them to be heaps of very similar sites. So, for example, you could just, like, say, okay, so you could go to, you just say, I'll just use Jarvis, so, like, and you wouldn't even have to say Jarvis, you could say, okay, Jarvis, create a template, create a copy of Social Blade. And then, okay, Jarvis, so change the Social Blade logos to my logos. you know, and then change the font from 20 pence to 16 pence, and you know, change the layout to, and then you could do it like, okay, let's create a brand new layout, or let's, you know, create and so automatically as you're saying this stuff, change the logo, boom, it's all instantly like Supersite logos, and change the color scheme to green, boom, it's all green scheme, you know, and then, you know, and it's just automatically updating these things, and then say, okay, remove all the, you know, or just like, okay, extract all like look and extract all data from live data from DLive, you know, and all the other different platforms. What is it, you know, from, there was, all the ones I used to stream to, you know, all the Twitter stats, you know, all the Facebook stats, you know, all the different, you know, streaming, I can't even remember their names anymore. There was Mixer, there was DLive, and just, you know, extract every single live streaming platform, all the stats, and create new categories for each of them. There we go. Alrighty, now please show me, Java, some template ideas. And it would start just flicking through different ones and be like, perfect, that one, thank you, and then just add that one. Okay, increase the color gradient by 3%, and it's just making this website as you're going along. And so you'd use a combination of speech, a combination of, and you go like, in Java, please change the URL to this, you know, and you know, or you know, and you could just type some inputs. You could like draw and have color images as some other input, so like pictures, and just say base it on this design, you know. You do it on that and that, as well as other factors. So, you know, there's speech, there's actual images you have, and there's websites. So you could just say, okay, duplicate this, or just start a new template. Okay, extract the data from here, here, and here. There we go. Now place this piece of data that you've extracted. And so it's not like you need to type out how to extract the data from YouTube API. Just say, Jarvis, please extract all live stats from the top 10, you know, channels on YouTube and place it here on the website. And then you know, they just automatically do it, and you could just rearrange exactly how you liked it. And you could either make the site live so other people could have it, or you could just have like a version of Social Blade that is personalized for you. I'm just using Social Blade. Social Blade is a stats website. Now, my theory is that eventually there'll just be there'll be billions of sites, and they're all virtually identical. The actual sites, like, you know, that are currently, like, you know, okay, I'm back. So, yeah, this is like 12 hours later. Anyway, okay, so here, just a few more things for the idea. I don't want to drag it out, I don't want to bore you, but I just thought it was an interesting idea, and I genuinely think this will be something that happens. Now, often, you know, there's all sorts of things I think will happen in the future, and lots of them I hope I'm not right about, but this year, I reckon it would be cool. Now, there are, of course, a few things that would happen as a result of it. So, for example, would mean that, you know, the likes of websites of social, or just most websites, Social Blade or whatnot, would become, you know, like, in terms of, if it's only providing virtual statistics that aren't copyrighted, you know, then things like Social Blade, it would be very struggle to exist, because, you know, the people just duplicate it so much. The likes of, for example, Countdown, which is a supermarket, or Pack and Say, which is a supermarket in New Zealand, you know, you can, so what if you can duplicate their website? That means nothing, because you haven't got those products to sell or whatnot. But, you know, I reckon, you know, because at the moment, you know, there's a lot of, you know, sort of, no, if you copy someone's website, you know, that's copyright, you know, whatnot. But I feel that in the future, if people just like just duplicating all these different websites, I feel like the public opinion will change on that. And so I'm not talking like logos or whatnot, you know. I'm talking, you know, I'm just any copyrighted stuff is copyrighted, but it'll basically be very similar kind of websites. So the different ways that you'll be able to input the thing is most importantly is talking. So, you know, and it'll have to be intuitive. So you'll be like, okay, please move this to the top left. There we go. Please change this to this size and this direction, and rotate it this way or whatnot. Now, of course, the AI will sometimes ask you questions back to clarify. So you'll be like, okay, sir, please explain what you meant by that, or would you like me to adjust this side as well? You know, or which source would you like me to extract the YouTube API from, via this or that or whatnot? So, you know, it will ask some questions back. So you'll be able to, the ways that you can input this data is by typing, by talking, by, you know, website duplication, by app duplication. So it kind of links into the open source in the sense that so probably the AI would be based. I don't know. Just it's maybe some of the initial stuff will be based on open source because the people that have the open source. I don't even know about half the how open source works, but I assume it means that basically they have all their code public so people can use it, and so then that would be way more easier because I don't know, it'll take an insane amount to invent some AI that can actually do this, but I believe it will be possible to actually one day create it, and so it's like, well, if I believe it can be possible, then and it will be handy. I'm sure it will be possible. That's my idea for the future. If something can be possible, and it would be of great benefit, I'm sure it will become possible. So this is just one of those things that I think will be that kind of situation. So, and also that people that currently program now, they'll there'll be different things. They'll have to evolve, and just assuming this even happens, and if it does, then of course, if and so they'll be like. They'll be a step ahead of what this is learning in order, to stay, to stay relevant in the sense, like, for example, if this AI could do exactly what they could do, like, if the AI could match exactly what programs could do now, well, then, the AI, is just a very easy option. But of course, it will take so long to develop this kind of AI technology and that, and there'll be obvious limitations to it, which will take ages for the programmers to program the AI so that the AI can actually do more and more and more stuff. But I reckon it will become possible to do a lot of stuff, and it'll just be super useful. It'll be super intuitive. You can just get it. And there'll be a lot of benefits to it. There'll obviously be problems with it, but there'll be a lot of benefits. But yeah, I don't know. I just sort of had this wee thing here. There we go. The possibilities that would be endless. It would be, yeah. So yeah, I don't really know. I sort of just. I just sort of wrote down some of my ideas. But yeah, sorry, I wish I'd explained it all better in that. But that was just my idea, and it'll be cool seeing if in 50 years this is an actual thing. It'll be so weird. Now, and this year, this was entirely because I'm sure there'll probably be other people that have done all sorts of similar predictions or whatnot. Now, this was not because I was reading story, like I take it those. I'm sure there's lots of predictions about the future, but I'm sure there was kind of predictions this. But anyway, I didn't get it from that. From those, I don't really read just like technological, also one more other thing I want to touch on. It's kind of a bit like it hits on with Elon Musk's idea, of like, with a phone, and it's extension of your brain and whatnot, extension of you, it's in a sense, it's kind of like that, a little bit, in the sense that, it's basically getting a computer to do whatever you want just with the power of using your brain, just using your mind, and you can just get it to do everything. So you don't need to have this massive knowledge, the Matrix. I don't think the Matrix will be a thing where when there's like upload how to fly a helicopter. Whoa, I can fly a helicopter. I don't think that will be possible. Maybe it will be. But in terms of Elon Musk, it's this massive like data transfer cap. So the amount of you're slowly typing up little bit about yourself, but as soon as they can just make it like a massive opening, and you're like, and you could just like tell it so much so quickly, and this is just in one area. There'll be huge amounts of other areas to do with the Elon Musk concept and idea of that, but I'm just focusing on this one strand, as in just that, like, using your idea to just build programs and ideas, just turn ideas into actual programs, and you can just do draft 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just keep trashing the different ideas, like, oh no, we won't do that one, oh, this layout looks better, oh no, okay, copy, do a save as, and then, yeah, like, it's a word reference, so, yeah, and just, I don't know. I just reckon there's so much potential for this, and I just thought it'd be cool to make a video on it. I don't know. It would be so interesting to see if it actually develops or whatnot, and if any of what I've said comes remotely true, It's just a theory. Just thought I'd put it out there. I don't normally do any of this stuff, but it's like, why not? I genuinely think this is something that could actually exist and will exist, and if it does, could be absolutely, truly epic. But I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Do let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you reckon I have a remotely correct idea of what would happen? What are some other additional things you could think on top of what I've already thought of? Oh yeah, and that's right. And where it came from was just the frustration that I had all these ideas, and it's like I can't make them into these programs or websites like I want them to. I have to then spend 2 years programming, and then to slowly program them each out one by one. So it kind of hits two stones. It hits the learning programming for 2 or more years, as well as the actually programming or whatnot. Now, yeah, I don't know. This is just my guess, and programming is wonderful. Social Blade's wonderful. There's so many. They're both wonderful. Yeah, but I reckon there's a more efficient way to do. To do programming, and there's a with the likes of Social Blade, for years they've been the lead, and I think super highly of Social Blade. Just making that clear, I think super highly of Social Blade. Just in the very long run, I feel like there'll be I don't know how it will work. There'll be so many different ways. I think it would be better if there's just multiple versions of Social Blade, but at the same time I think that Social Blade will always be thinking ahead, but then if you can always just almost instantaneously copy it, there'll be some way they'll figure out to still monetize it. It's not like I think this is a great idea because I want to put Social Blade out of business. No, I think Social Blade's awesome. They got a wonderful team, wonderful staff. They provide a wonderful service, and that this idea is not to destroy Social Blade. I don't know. Now I've just made it really awkward and way more. I just use Social Blade as an example because I like Social Blade, but then it sounds like, oh, but if you copy the website, then who would visit Social Blade? I'm not trying to go down that trench. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna leave this idea as it is, and I hope I don't know, I just hope it's a little bit thought-provoking, and yeah, have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day from the 9th of March, 2020, at 3:50 flippin' AM, and then I have to get up at 7 or 8 AM between those 2 hours, and yikes, I'm gonna be tired. Anyway, see you soon, have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day.